I thought I'd lost you.
Oh. Hier. Hurt young.
We should move. This way. Oh.
Why'd that bitch just walk around in front of us? So fucked up. She knows
Come.
everything.
It's this way.
Hier.
This is the home of the merchant who provides the food.
Even the cats here look better fed than the poor.
The owner is obviously of substance. Not all Egyptians seem to be equal.
Some are just more equal than others.
This is awful!
No wonder people are falling sick.
Who would do this?
It is time we met this poisonous merchant.
Give him a taste of his own cooking.
How may I help you? This is my home. Are you lost?
You can explain to me why you have been poisoning the poor. My guess is so you can take their land. It is easier if they are dead.
You're referring to the trouble in the slums? Whatever you've heard, I assure you, you misunderstand. I do what I can to help.
I have seen your kitchen merchant. I know what you are doing. And I will see that you are brought to justice.
Oh, I see. Well, that changes things. Now, you're trespassing, and I have the right to protect myself. Men! If you were reasonable, I wouldn't have to do it.
This merchant of death was murdering the poor for their land. His love of money was their real sickness. Fayum won't miss him. The dead can rest. There will be no more burning.
ثانية.
كيف تجارب؟
رجالو تدخل سيتي.
Bro said go to bed. Hey, Hey, go to bed, brother. Appreciate you stopping by.
I think that President Trump's tweet saying that, I'm not going to tolerate any games is exactly the type of leadership that is needed, because if Hamas, if they're given an inch, they will take the whole yard and they will...
He's right about that. You have to deal with terrorists like they're terrorists. You can't talk to these people or deal with these people like you would be negotiating, like, buying a car.
Drag out this stage, and they will try to make an inevitable situation where they are de facto rulers on the ground, and that cannot be allowed to happen if we want peace and if we want something
that's
positive.
The problem. That's why they want the war to continue. It's because right now they're living high on the hog. They're the leaders. Everybody is listening to them. They're controlling the area. They have a lot of power and authority. And so if peace truly comes to the area and the people are able to vote and choose for a peaceful rule, well, their, reign is going to be over. They're not going to be able to do that anymore. So of course they're not going to want to have the peace happen, because then peace means that they no longer have power. This is the same reason why, fundamentally, conflict is the genesis of their power and is the genesis of their control and influence. This is, on a fundamental level, the same as why weirdos on the internet like SJW, like fucking constantly hyper-offended virtue signalers, are never happy. Is because by being happy, they effectively cede their power. They're saying, well, I'm happy now, so you don't have to pay attention to me anymore. Their entire power structure is wielded through grievance. And this is fundamentally, it's a very different concept, but it's the same idea. It's a different methodology, but it's the same idea. That's it. Realize Arab, Turks don't want peace, they want to kill and occupy. There's plenty of countries that are Arab countries that don't have this bullshit. All of the other Arab countries even agreed that they don't want this bullshit.
The viral Paleo Valley meat sticks are on sale right now for up to 20% off. These are the most delicious meat sticks on the market. There are tons of flavors and they're naturally fermented, so they're nice and juicy and you get none of the nasty preservatives found in other sticks. If you're looking for something healthy when you're on the go, these are the perfect clean protein snack. We're talking 100% grass-fed beef and venison and truly pasture-raised chicken and pork. They're gut-friendly with no sugar, gluten, soy, or seed oils. Just a delicious, clean protein snack from real food.
Get 30 beef sticks for $36.
Automate dev maintenance with Azure. Free yourself to focus on innovative new projects and spend less time on routine tasks.
Here for the future, then Hamas needs to be disarmed and control over the Gaza Strip needs to be taken out of the hands of Hamas.
Yeah, of course.
By the way, for the better interest of Palestinians as well.
And on that front, the Times of Israel is reporting that since the ceasefire took effect, Hamas gunmen have actually tightened their grip over Gaza.
Of course.
And have killed at least 33 Palestinians who are accused of working, collaborating with Israel. And some of these videos that have been released, these are public executions that we're talking about. This doesn't appear to be the behavior of a group of people who are planning to relinquish power and authority over the Strip.
It's expected. Yeah, it's insane. Like people could have easily expected that.
Are 100% correct, and what Hamas is doing is settling scores. It isn't against people that have cooperated with Israel. It's against various critics in Gaza. It's against people who are trying to rise up against Hamas's oppression. These are Palestinian Muslims. We have nothing Jewish here, and no Mossad agents are being executed, just ordinary Palestinians from rival factions and rival clans, and Hamas is doing what they do best. They are thugs.
Mostly peaceful executions, yes, clearly. And it's insane, man.
They're executing people in town squares in broad daylight, in typical Hamas fashion. Now, I don't know if
these public executions have been happening the entire time, not just for Gazans that are pro-Israel. The question should be, why is mainstream media, after all these years of it happening, when we talk about it now? I mean, the mainstream media is corrupt and they are biased, and you can say everything, and I'd agree with you. But I do want to say that, you know, for me, I can only speak for myself. I have covered this. And I have talked about it whenever they had protests against Hamas in Palestine, and then the leader of those protests was killed. I was one of the only people who put out a video about it. These people have always they've always been terrorists. They'll always be terrorists, and there will be no peace until they're gone. Now, I don't think you might not need to kill them. If you can just get them to leave, that's good enough. And I think that really, if you take the utilitarian approach, maybe that will save more lives. But one way or another, they can't be there.
I've seen it on other
Something according to you? It's obvious. It's obvious that's what's happening.
Networks. I have not seen this reported in any significant way across most of mainstream media, and I wonder why. Isn't it news when 35 and more Palestinians are executed in cold blood? Or is it not news because it's not Israel's doing? But the fact is that Hamas is not looking like an organization that is ready to disarm, as they have committed to President Trump, and they're not looking as if they're going to hand over peacefully the control over the Gaza Strip. That spells trouble for the continuation of this deal. I hope that Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey, the main three sponsors of Hamas, will be told by whoever needs to tell them that the time for games and the time for this type of behavior is long gone. Hamas has lost, and they must concede. I hope that will happen for the interest of...
Well, that's the reason. I think that's the smartest thing about, I think, the way that Trump approached this, is that he approached it with the backing of a lot of the other Middle Eastern countries. So they can't claim that this is somehow like just Israel that's against them. This has been an agreement that a lot of other people have also been involved with as well. And so now it puts them in opposition with everybody else also.
Well, in the short time we have remaining, a big question for you, because these Hamas terror tunnels are another major issue, and the eradication of them is part of the 20-point plan. Logistically, though, Lieutenant Colonel, how do you do that?
It'll take a long time, lots of effort, lots of explosives, and lots of soldiers that do it. This is not something that is going to be done in a short time. Imagine if a contractor was given the assignment of demolishing the New York City metro or subway system. That's the scope of what we're talking about here. These are hundreds of miles of tunnels, and it's going to take time. I hope that it'll be done in the most peaceful and benign way without involving any other casualties, but I fear that it will include fighting. If Hamas is disarmed, it can be done in a peaceful way. If not, then it'll have to be done in a different way, which I hope that we can prevent.
Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus, we appreciate your time this morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, and good.
There it is, and I don't know how anybody would support that. There's what is it here? Videos of Hamas executing civilians on the street of Gaza after the peace deal. Yeah, they're psycho terrorists. I mean, like I don't know why anybody wouldn't have expected that. Like it's so obvious that's what's going on. It's so obvious that's what they are. People think that it's not happening. Is this the same? Yeah, this is the other one right here. And obviously it's going to happen. It shows who they are. They're cannibalizing their own people. They've always been doing that. They use them as human shields. They kill them whenever they fight back. This is a complete military like control. Like it's a military occupation by a terrorist group.
Introducing Prop Money Inc.'s new Real Aged. This isn't your typical prop money you've seen from us over the years. This is our brand new trademarked Real Age series that not only looks used and weathered, but appears insanely realistic. There is no other product on the market that can match our unique aging process to make this prop money look like it has been used for years. We offer all denominations in all series: 1s, 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, and 100s. We even have duffel bags, briefcases, money counters, and money guns. So whether it's our original stacks or our Real Age series, Prop Money Inc. can help bring all of your content needs to life.
Order yours now at propmoney.com and get your money seen right with Prop Money Inc.
When we think about helping a person get to a healthier weight, it's so much more than pounds on the scale. We know that if a person is carrying excess weight, it increases their risk for chronic diseases such as cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes.
This is the reason why, I hope you guys seeing this now can see the reason why I've been very empathetic towards like the actual Palestinian citizens. Is that they're like this is happening to them in their own backyard. Like not only are they dealing with like the existential problem of Israel or the United States helping Israel, but on top of that, it's their own fucking like they got like Hamas got elected like 20 years ago, right? Like by the way, so just let's use a little bit of logic here, okay? Just 3 seconds of logic. So the majority of the people in Gaza are under 18 because a lot of the older people have been killed. So if the majority of people are under 18 and Hamas got elected 20 years ago, that means just very simply, most people didn't fucking vote for this. They voted for this? No, the people that voted for this are dead. They're dead. Think about it. Think about it for 3 seconds. Do the math.
Well, President Trump is now threatening Hamas with major consequences if they fail to disarm and hand over the remaining deceased hostages.
It comes as the Israeli military releases the names of those returned so far.
Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yinks joins us now from Israel. Good morning, Trey.
Yeah, hey, Lawrence, good morning. Overnight, Hamas released the bodies of 3 additional hostages. The total number still in Hamas.
My point is that Hamas does not represent the will of the Palestinian people, and it hasn't for a very long time. I think that Hamas, their main goal and priority is proliferating and continuing their own power structure rather than any sort of benefit for the people that live there. I think that they use the benefit, like the benefit there, they will use this as a political tool, but their real goal is to maintain power inside of that environment. That is their that is their prime directive. Everything else is subservient to that directive. You're being naive? I'm being naive by thinking that the people that are in charge of this are actually just power-hungry psychopaths that are killing anybody that disagrees with them. After we've seen videos of them being power-hungry psychopaths that kill people that disagree with them? Yes.
Captivity stands at 21. The release of these bodies may be a sticking point before entering into phase 2 of the agreement. Regional media reports that Egyptian teams will enter Gaza to help Hamas locate the remains. One of the bodies that was released earlier this week was that of Yossi Sharabi. His brother Eli was held hostage for nearly 500 days. He spoke last hour with Fox and Friends, saying this.
It was a mixed feeling for our family. We got closer with Yossi's body after 2 years. Very sad closure, but it gave us the opportunity to have a grave to cry on.
Yeah, it's awful. It sucks. I mean, especially with all those people. They're arguing a little bit naive about population support. Well, I mean, like, so if the population of Palestine supported Hamas, that would not change my viewpoint on it, because the population of Palestine, there's 2 reasons why. Number one, a lot of those people probably view Hamas as the devil you know and the lesser of 2 evils. They probably don't like Hamas, but they dislike Israel more, so they accept Hamas's tyrannical and abusive behavior because they consider it better than Israel, because Israel is a foreign occupying force and Hamas is a domestic occupying force. So both are bad, but one is the lesser evil. That's number one. The second reason why I don't really care that much about it is because the people that are supporting them, if they openly state that they don't support them, they could be killed. So I think that any sort of polling or opinion, survey or anything like that, whenever you're asking somebody a question that if one of the answers could lead to your death, I don't think that you're really going to get a very accurate sample size. It's just logical. Like, I don't know why, like, how could somebody not think like this? It's common sense that obviously whenever you have an occupying force that will kill you if you go against them, you're going to have a lot of people saying that they're not going against them. How could you possibly think otherwise?
Inside Gaza, reaction continues to the ceasefire deal. There's also an incredibly dangerous environment for Palestinian civilians, as Hamas has executed a number of people accused of stealing aid and working with Israel. President Trump was asked about Hamas yesterday and their commitment to disarm as part of the broader peace plan.
We have told them we want to disarm, and they will disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. But they will disarm. And I spoke to Hamas.
Yeah.
And I said, you're going to disarm, right? Yes, sir, we're going to disarm. That's what they told me. They will disarm or we will disarm them.
This was a very orange day for him.
I have 2
3 months ago, I get this call from a stranger. They knew my address, my age, even what car I drive. Now, this really creeped me out. I mean, it's creepy, right? That's when I realized how much of my personal data was actually online. Even though I'm careful about what I share, data brokers have collected everything about me from hundreds of sources. And yes, they're legally allowed to sell all of this. But here's what they don't want you to know. They're also legally required to remove all the information if you ask them. Well, the problem? Yeah, the problem is it's nearly impossible. That's where Delete Me comes in. I've watched them remove my information from over 200 data broker sites. When you sign up at joindeleteme.com, you'll get a report showing exactly how many places have your personal data, and you'll see Delete Me forcing these sites to remove it. You'll go from exposed to removal in progress to clean. Delete Me is relentless on your behalf. And yes, it really is that easy. Get started at joindeleteme.com today.
Don't wait. Get your free scan at joindeleteme.com/scan.
Jekyll and the Scorpion are within my brother's inner circle. We believe they are the ones behind the attempt on my life.
An attempt on your life? Why your brothers be like this?
You can't stop this. I don't go slow. I might knock knock, say yo yo. Ain't no getting around and no figuring out. You gon' get lost on this showboat. It's on. I keep it moving.
He leads them.
Yes, the dreamer who posits himself as truly Egyptian and yet sends a man to murder me. Not
A
very
spokesperson for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to brief the media later today with an update on the state of the ceasefire. Guys, back to you.
So when he says we'll disarm them, Trey, do you believe the president means we as in the IDF? He doesn't plan on sending American troops in there to disarm them,
Of course not. No, they're just going to empower Israel to do it. Why the fuck would we send people in there?
Right.
My sense is in the region right now is anything is possible if the ceasefire doesn't
Not going to
move
send American troops in there. Nobody's going to support them.
forward, but it's tough to get ahead of what we know right now. The current plan, as laid out by the president in this 20-point peace deal, is to have Hamas lay down their arms, the leadership leave Gaza, and some Hamas members who commit to a peaceful future for the enclave be granted amnesty. And so it's
somebody brought up a good point. He could just fly a B-52 over the area. Just fly it over Hamas. Doesn't drop anything. Maybe have it drop confetti. Just let them know. There it is. Yeah.
Deal that actually benefits Hamas if they follow through with it. If they do not,
have it drop Trump 2028 hats.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says his country would go back to war against the terrorist organization. The question now is what this timeline will look like, understanding that these images we see from inside Gaza show Hamas taking back to the streets of the enclave and executing their opponents.
Trey, isn't it fair to say it's hard to rebuild Gaza? It's hard to get food and water and other resources if you have a terrorist organization that's running the street. No one wants to go in there with that happening, right?
Obviously not.
Absolutely, and that's why this broader peace plan presented by the Americans does two things. First, it has an international stabilization force. Other countries will be committing soldiers to help stabilize the situation inside Gaza. And second, there will be an influx of aid to the enclave as broader coalitions of countries, including Israel and the United States, work to usher in a technocratic government for the Gaza Strip, a more moderate government that is focused on rebuilding and focused on prosperity for the Palestinian people rather than war and trying to fight Israel. And so if these things move forward as planned, it would give an opportunity to the Palestinian people in Gaza to stay there while rebuilding efforts are underway. But you would have to have that moderate government in place to ensure that an organization like Hamas isn't stealing the resources, digging tunnels, and creating terrorism.
Yeah, obviously. And somebody in chat, these are always good. Somebody in chat is asking the question, why are you watching Zionist propaganda? What about this do you think is propaganda or Zionist propaganda? What is it? Because I want to know. What part of this do you think is problematic?
Where's the Palestinian Authority on all this? Mahmoud Abbas made some statements, 67 borders, but there is a Palestinian Authority that Yasser Arafat once led. What's their role?
It's a great question. And look, inside Gaza, even before October 7th, there was a divide among the civilian population. Many people supported Hamas, but many others supported Fatah, the second largest political party, the party of Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in the Palestinian Authority that controls the West Bank.
How are they doing?
And so Mahmoud Abbas has actually been very supportive of President Trump's efforts because he understands, as a lifelong diplomat, someone who has participated in previous peace accords, that the Americans have the cards here. They have the power to implement this agreement, and you're either on board or you're not. And so we could see more involvement from the Palestinian Authority in the future of Gaza. There would certainly have to be a number of agenda items worked out with the Israelis, understanding that they would like to see a completely new government within the enclave. But to answer your question, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has been supportive of President Trump's efforts because they're the only real efforts in recent decades that could lead to peace here in the Middle East.
Trey, we have some newspapers from that area, from Israel. We have the Jerusalem Post. It says the nation is elated as living hostages return home. At the bottom, it says the hostages are back. It feels so good to say it.
Yes, great.
We have some other newspapers as well with pictures of people returning and being reunited. What's the feeling there, and what are you hearing on the streets?
Weights have been lifted off the shoulders of the Israeli people. 20 living hostages were released as part of this ceasefire. And people here have been waiting for more than 2 years for this moment to happen. And we saw those videos, the reunification of families at local hospitals. Overnight, Lishai Miran putting out a video of her husband Omri and 2 young daughters playing at the hospital. And it's heartwarming for the Israeli people, but you feel it in the streets here. Last night was the end of a week-long holiday in Israel. It was called Simchat Torah, and you saw people in the streets of Tel Aviv dancing and holding Torahs. It's a celebration here in Israel, understanding that the people of Israel are now feeling the peace for the first time in more than 2 years.
Yeah, one of our friends here who works on our staff, she went to synagogue here in America, in New York. She said the whole synagogue stood up and cheered for Donald Trump when these hostages came home during the holiday.
It's obviously
All right,
good,
thank you so much, Trey. Excellent job.
That's great.
Thanks, Trey.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable that they're chanting that in Gaza as well as in Tel Aviv.
That's why Trump said dancing Israelis. I assume that's the reason why.
The hostages do.
Yeah.
And Eli Sharabi, he was on the program last week, and he talked about how he lost half of his weight. And today he talked about the recovery for the other hostages that are now back in Israel. Watch.
Being a new mom is no joke. I mean, the poop everywhere, and they are so expensive. Seriously, I mean, they can get hurt so easily.
It's going to be a process. He has to give to himself time to recover, physically and especially mentally.
Yeah, I bet.
It will take more than a few months to do it. He had severe trauma from 2 years in captivity. So it's not going to end in 2 days. I don't know why all the rest of the world surprised what he's seeing now from Hamas. We are the Israelis knows who's this organization. It's terror organization. It will do anything, to get control on Gaza again and use his power and use his weapon. And he has no boundaries for this goal.
Absolutely. So he said Hamas, and then his second one was the follow-up to how do you feel about Hamas killing 33 people who are members of clans that we...
Well, that's just the ones that they know about. It's probably more.
The IDF allied and identified, and he said it doesn't surprise
probably a lot
him.
more.
So unless someone disarms them, they're not going to disarm themselves, it looks like.
He also talked about how some of them are so indoctrinated that some of the captors were one was a first-grade school teacher.
Professors,
lecturers, doctors.
I'm Steve Doocy.
That's
I'm right.
nuts, man. How do you, as a civilian, believe any of the intel information? Could the U.S. government or Hamas government not decide when info is getting out there? It's just common sense. You just think about it. It's obviously true.
Whoa.
Like you don't have to go through. So what is this here? It's literally all Israelis' talking points. So which talking point do you disagree with?
Cleopatra.
Hamas stealing aid? Nobody said that. That wasn't even being discussed. Stop being a bot.
You must have gold.
What are we talking about?
I would like to speak with your legendary twins.
Speaking is what you call it.
No, that really wasn't even.
I suppose we all have our thing.
That's not even being discussed. Like, just stay on the topic.
Anything else?
What does that even have to do with this? It's a completely different topic. Question LOL.
Make yourself comfortable upstairs. The twins will come for you.
So,
They had a rough
this is a
night
video, and we're
so
talking
don't
about the
speak
topic
too hard with them.
of Hamas disarming and then doing public executions of their own people. That's the topic. That's what's being discussed. What are you thinking about? Okay, that's also false. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. What part of it is false? Yeah, okay. All right. Now we finally reached some sort of maybe a point here. Hamas is executing civilians in Gaza and they're filming themselves doing it, but he hates Israel and he calls it propaganda. I mean, I don't know, like, this isn't even a debatable. Those civilians killed a journalist a few days ago. So you think that all 32 of the civilians that Hamas, you think that every single civilian that Hamas executed had killed a journalist? Is that your opinion? They are working. So you think that all? So wait a minute. Okay, so now you think that the people that Hamas executed are all working with the IDF, and they're killing journalists. So is that and where are you getting that information from? Not Fox News? I was asking where. I assumed that it wasn't Fox News, but where were you getting it? Somebody touched the journalist killed? So you think that 32 people collaborated together in order to kill one journalist? Actually, let me just ask you a better question. Because this is getting complicated. Do you think that Hamas's public executions of those 32 people were justified or not? Just really simple question, right? Do you think they were justified or were they not justified? Because we can talk about why or anything else, but that's really the bottom line now, isn't it? They did more? Okay, so do you think that the public executions that Hamas did were all justified? Not in an ideal world. Were they justified or not? Yes or no? I think he said something. You are arguing like a bot. Yeah, that's what I was going to say, actually. Okay, so you're unwilling to give a yes or no answer. This is a terrorist organization that's had a long history of killing people that protest against them. If you think that they're not killing their own people now, after the ceasefire is over, while there's a power vacuum, you are delusional. I'm not saying that, every single person, maybe some of them were Israeli spies. Maybe one of the executions made sense. Maybe there was this guy that was trying to, accidentally, try to fucking subvert them. And so, they killed this guy and it's like, yeah, of course they did that, right? Yeah, sure. But there's a bunch of them that it wasn't. I don't know how you could even say this at all. I mean, it's insane. And you're believing terrorist propaganda. I don't have to make shit up about Hamas like Fox News.
And Roman regalia.
Well, I mean, that's what you're doing now, right? You're just saying that everything isn't true. And also, why would you listen to that? Do they deserve to live? What about innocent Palestinians? I don't know. Ask that to Hamas. They're the ones killing them right now.
Is posing as a woman.
That's what they're doing.
Must be to infiltrate the palace.
Yeah, it's insane. And so you're so focused on Fox News, you're not even you're thinking about Fox News. Fox News. Think about the idea of what's being discussed. Why would you even be considering what Fox News is or not? It's just a lot of people get trapped and captured by this type of binary, very, very surface level thinking, and I don't really see why. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me, and it's very odd. But I guess that's the way it is.
Yes, this is why I switched to injection-free weight loss.
I was eating healthy, working out every day, and nothing would budge. I've lost, I think, 22 or 23 pounds at this point.
I noticed that my weight was really starting to creep up, and I just wasn't happy with the way that I looked. I have lost around 20 pounds.
Diet, exercise, I felt like I had tried everything.
Finally, I stumbled across hers and thought, what do I have to lose? I have lost so far just over 35 pounds.
Weight Loss by Hers offers access to oral medication kits. Simple, all-in pricing. Ongoing care included at no extra cost. Free shipping right to your door if prescribed. Through hers, your weight loss plan is personalized to your goals. Plus, you get access to unlimited messaging with a licensed medical provider. No insurance required, no in-person visits, 100% online. Take the free assessment to get started today.
I'm falling asleep, y'all. Shit.